Alright, this is video number 2. You can see what I've done. I took all the wires from the bottom and I ran them up the seam up to the top, and I just used super glue to super glue them down. And then I taped over the top of it until I got all the wires at the top. They're all cut, and all you have to do with wires this small to strip them, you don't have to have any special tool. Just hold it like that, take your thumb and your thumbnail against it and just pull, and you can see see if I can get that showing how it crimps it. Yep, or you guys can see this better. I'll take these two, since they're close together. It's a blue, two blues. I'm just going to twist them together. Just twisting them together. Don't just bring all your wires together and try to crimp them all together at once, because it'll end up badly. It'll be just some big gigantic knot, and you'll have to try to figure out how to work your wiring. Best thing to do is just to do a couple at a time. Small changes, figure out where that's going to go. Then small changes, figure out where that's going to go. It's just the easiest way to do it. So I go 2 at a time, and then go 2 at a time until I got it all twisted together in pairs of 2. Then I'll go through and take those pairs and twist those pairs together in 4s, and then so forth and so on until I get 2. And I'll just move them around accordingly until you have 2, a positive and a negative. Also, doing it this way makes sure that doing it 2 at a time, just doing it in pairs, make sure that it all gets twisted up. Because if you just put all 4 together and twist it, maybe like 2 of them get twisted together but the other 2 don't. Yeah, this just makes sure that they all get twisted. You don't want to get done and then start your soldering, and then only to realize that they're really not together all that good, and then them come apart because the heat from the solder is going to take them apart. So I've got that split into 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then I tin the wires to keep them together. Makes it easier. I'm going to take some extra wire here. I thought I had the camera on while I was tinning them, or else you would have seen that. So instead of trying to put so many wires all together, I'm going to take some extra wire here, and basically I'm going to zoom out so you guys can see this a little better. These are such tiny wires that it's real hard to show on here, so I'm going to tin both sides of this. Tinning is basically just taking the solder and putting some solder on it. It's just solder prep. And if you touch the solder on here and get it started, it's easier. Alright. Now, got that. Got a little bit of heat shrink here. I'm going to put right over like so. Well, I guess I didn't really need to do that because I'm still going to have an end open. Make sure your polarity matches up. See, that makes it easy to make a good connection. Now, you can just take that. And I'm just going to touch it with my soldering gun. It just needs heat. Alright, see? Now those two are just put into one thin. And then these two will be put into one thin. And that's going to kind of go around there. So, alright, so we got two blues. Instead of all those blues, we got that narrowed down to two. I'm going to do the same for the black. Okay, those are tinned. So, I'm going to push this down in. All these wires. Push down into this little hole. Now, we're going to run this down the side where we already have wires running. That way it looks nicer. You can kind of show one side and it looks really nice, and the other side just kind of looks cruddy. There's really not much we can do about this one. When I build the one that's bigger and I can put everything on the inside, it'll be so much easier. So I'm going to put some tape on this. I want this wiring to stay in place, but to be there in case I need it later. So I'm going to take some super glue and just kind of put it on the outside along that. And some super glue down in here just to kind of seal everything up. And I still have to drill the hole for the button. Where did my other piece go? Oh, right here. So this is here. Goes through there. And we're going to make a little hole right here in the front. For the button to go in. And hopefully enough room for all the wiring to go in as well. I could just go from the back, because that battery's going to be covering quite a bit. I'll go in this way, and then I'll see how much room that leaves us, and then I'm going to see the back. I'm going to use this tool here. It's basically the width of the button, just a little bigger. It's going to give me enough room to put the button and to put something around it. So I want the button to go about right there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this at all, because if I don't have this in the right angle I could mess up. Go. Yeah. Just gonna take these. We put the positive on one side. You guys are totally not going to be able to see this at all. Let's put a battery in it. and see if she works. Hopefully I didn't burn up the inside of that thing. Hopefully. Good chance I did. Nope. It works. Awesome. Awesome. Now I'm going to use this stuff. And I want to make sure that none of the solder's broke while I was putting that in. So, while I'm putting the putty in, I'm going to plug the battery in. And if it goes off, then I know one of the solders broke. Just guys, if you haven't seen me use this before, it's just I only have a little bit left. You just have to get it uniform. It's a putty, and you can use it as a putty. It's really great stuff. In fact, I thought about putting some of this, getting some more and putting it around, you know, kind of smoothing stuff out. You can kind of use this to hide a lot of stuff and paint over it, but I'm not too awfully worried about it. Basically what I'm going to do is, this stuff doesn't act like putty that you play with, but it kind of does. It's a lot like it. You got to make sure that a little bit of that is sticking out. I might have to take my gloves off, so it's so much easier because it sticks to them gloves. So I want to make sure that I get some on the top here. You want to make sure that you're not getting any in the button part of it. This stuff starts getting warm after a while. You know what? I'm just going to build a little mound here. This stuff is sandable, so don't you worry. I'm giving directions like anybody else is going to do this. Alright, so this is completely sandable and paintable. So you can see where I put the button. It's not even, but that's because since this is in the way, I had to kind of go in at an angle. But that's alright because I'm left-handed, so I'm actually going to be grabbing it right here. That's perfect for me. It's not dry yet. I put it over the wires, right up here, and then I put some putty down in here over the wires in the top. So when that dries, that'll be hard as a rock. You'll only see a few wires sticking out of here, and I think I'm just going to paint those brown. Paint that brown. And then the only thing that I have left is the battery, which I can put a Velcro strip right there and fit that battery right to the back. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Or I could do that. Yeah, I think I might do that. So maybe I'll make a battery case. Anyways, I should let that dry before I mess around with it too much. See if I can. There we go. Turn it on. Oh look, it's not even dry yet, but let's show you guys it coming on. Going off. Coming on. Going off.